Over the last 200 years, Nederburg was blessed with strong personalities, which shaped the story of this wonderful wine estate.
Nederburg's story begins in 1791, when the anchorman, aka Philippus Wolfart, who was keen to set down roots, paid 5,600 guilders for untamed land close to Paarl. A visionary and a man of courage, he had to create an infrastructure from scratch, establishing a sturdy foundation from which to build a fine name in wine. So he immediately prepared the soil and planted vines and other crops. He also wanted his family to have the best he could give them, and he built an elegant, beautifully proportioned manor house. Completed in 1800, it remains an icon of Cape Wineland's gracious hospitality more than 2 centuries later. He proved to be something of a wine master, as by 1808 he was producing 40 ligas of wine, 23,280 litres a year. When he sold the property to the Retief family in 1810, it had evolved into a well-run farm with extensive vineyards and a cellar. It remained in this family for more than 70 years. From the late 19th century till shortly before World War II, it changed hands several times before it was bought by Johann Grau in 1937. The perfect brewmaster, Grau was a man of many talents. He was not only a viticulturalist, but also a tea specialist and had substantial knowledge of beer making as a former director of a major brewery in his native Germany. He understood beverages and flavor, and he knew that to achieve optimal results, you had to start with the best quality ingredients. He kept very careful records of the performance of his vines, noting the impact of location and of specific clones, and was able to match grape cultivars and particular clones with ideal planting sites. He even established a vine nursery. His efforts translated into outstanding results at the annual Cape Wine Show and on shows abroad. His son, Arnold, was groomed to succeed him and was trained in winemaking in Switzerland and Germany. The young airhawk who loved speed, action and adventure was also a great winemaker and, like his father, brought many prizes to Nederburg. But his career was short-lived. He was tragically killed at just 29 in a light aircraft crash. The death of his beloved only child nearly destroyed Grau Sr., but he knew that to give up everything he had created for his son to inherit would be a betrayal of his memory. He looked to Germany once again for a winemaker and found him in Günther Brusel, who had studied at the famous Weinsberg Institute and came from a long line of coopers. From the start, Günther showed he was his own man, always putting quality ahead of office politics. As a junior assistant, when told to age a Cabernet Sauvignon in barrels that he believed were not up to standard, he refused to do so. He thought he'd be fired, but he was soon promoted. A gifted and meticulous winemaster, at first light, this motorcycle marvel could be seen surveying the vineyards from his 250cc BSA motorcycle and then checking that the cellar was operating just as he intended. His innovations accelerated Nederburg's award-winning reputation, and whether business executive or baron, it wasn't long before many prominent wine enthusiasts were clamoring to visit the farm. His relationship with Nederburg spanned 33 years until his retirement in 1989. When Razvan Macic was appointed cellarmaster in 2001, he brought with him extensive experience gained in Europe and then in Stellenbosch. He continued the legacy of his winemaster predecessors and soon began garnering trophies, medals, and other accolades.
Following in the footsteps of Nederburg's great wine masters. It's a privilege, a pleasure. We feel the responsibility of making those beautiful wines, of which we hope they're proud of.
It was considered a privilege to taste the excellence of the Wine Masters Reserve. Never a one-horse man, though, he dazzled with his dexterity to produce a multi-tiered offering to appeal to a broad spectrum of wine lovers all over the world.
I am opening the Ingenuity Red Blend 2009. It's my favorite red wine made at Nederburg. Nice.
His ingenuity and capacity for creating new and exciting wines have thrilled wine lovers. But his unerring ability to appeal to more popular tastes with lighter options has delighted them too. Nederburg's access to the grapes from the Fair Trade accredited Papkaalsfontein vineyards near Darling also gives wine lovers the chance for fair selection. A premium is paid for these grapes that workers on the farm channel into projects to enhance their lives, those of their families and community. Looking back on over 2 centuries of winemaking, there's a golden thread that runs through Nederburg. It's called precision, and it's matched with heart.
Well, I can tell you from my heart that it's great to be here and to make the Nederburg wines. I find it a great joy, a privilege.
We want our wines to be both technically accomplished and an absolute pleasure to drink. How we achieve this is by maintaining a very sophisticated infrastructure and committing ourselves totally to what we do. We have our own dedicated plant nursery, where we propagate superior plant material for our own farms and our wide network of suppliers. We invest extensively in research and share our findings with our long-standing suppliers to promote best practice. This means we have access to top-quality fruit across the Cape. We also have the resources to pioneer new wine-growing areas to ensure we're always ahead. And our sophisticated cellars are equipped to allow us to simultaneously create specialty, exclusive connoisseur wines, as well as more popular wines.
The wine masters of Nederburg had in common the love for wine, the vineyards, and this wonderful place. And this is something that we share with them, of course. Yeah. Cheers to the wine masters.
Nederburg, mastering wine.
Nederburg is a brand built on a colourful history of wine masters and grounded to 3 brand pillars of heritage, craftsmanship, and a credible reputation. With these 3 pillars as a base, Nederburg has repositioned and relaunched itself to markets with a message that encapsulates the brand essence. Nederburg, mastering wine. This new positioning reinforces credibility and champions what Nederburg has been doing for over 2 centuries, mastering the art of winemaking. The positioning creates a fine balance between Nederburg's heritage and the more contemporary direction required to connect with the emerging consumer markets. The mastering wine position provides consumers with a confidence offering they can trust. It creates a visibly stronger brand presence that evokes a feeling of accomplishment and self-assurance. Nederburg has a collection of wines to suit every wine lover's need. The range is built on a foundation of craftsmanship and historical excellence and aims to spearhead its wines on a global stage. The foundation collection is soft-styled and perfect for everyday enjoyment. Our wine masters' taste you can trust. Delighted wines are rich in flavor, yet lower in alcohol. Our wine masters flair for light, bright and delicious wines. 5600 is an exciting new range that brings to life the price it took to start the Nederburg legacy all those years ago. One man's faith in the future gave him the courage to invest 5600 guilders for a lifetime of lasting great taste. Baron is a true South African classic. Our wine masters blend with a noble touch. The Wine Masters Reserve is Nederburg's flagship range. These elegant wines are classically styled and reserved for you by our wine master. These Fairtrade accredited wines improve the quality of life of the farm workers that create them. Fairness is the choice of our wine master. Inspired by the home of our wine master, these wines are made from the best of best fruit selection. These adventurous wines blend traditional winemaking concepts with bold and innovative thinking. The result is a fusion of uniquely blended wines from our wine master. The Heritage Heroes Story collection honors the Nederburg wine masters. The Anchorman, Philippus Wolfart. The Brewmaster, Johann Grau. The Young Airhawk, Arnold Grau. The Motorcycle Marvel, Gunther Brosel. Staying true to Nederburg's heritage and craftsmanship, the logo has evolved without straying too far. It has been modernized, and the iconic crest has been given more definition. The overall look is one that stands proud and is unmistakably Nederburg. The color red has been chosen to represent Nederburg and forms the backdrop for communication. It speaks to the new positioning, confirming Nederburg's regal status. It is powerful, passionate, and emotive. It draws attention with sophistication and complements the brand tone and manner. Nederburg's communication builds on its positioning and 3 brand pillars by introducing the Mastering Wine concept. Mastering Wine champions Nederburg's wine masters and reinforces the brand's credentials and status. This creates a fine balance between Nederburg's trusted heritage and new contemporary style, bringing a promise of continued excellence to crafting the most superior wine. Digital plays a vital role in any brand communication strategy. Nederburg's digital presence allows consumers to interact with Nederburg via a selection of platforms. The website keeps consumers up to date with events at the farm, competitions, and even helps consumers with wine and food pairing. QR code technology has been used on the Winemaster's Reserve labels to create smart packs that link consumers to online Winemaster classes. Here, consumers learn about Nederburg wines and interact with the Winemaster in a series of masterclasses. The various platforms aim to educate and inform consumers about wine, wine tasting, food pairing, and just general wine knowledge in a comfortable, easy-to-access environment. A Nederburg shield, which was inspired by the Nederburg crest, has been crafted by taking cues from the iconography of some of the world's oldest and most respected brands. The shield is used to house the Nederburg logo and reinforces Nederburg's regal stature. It is the winemaster's seal of quality and will appear on all elements. A full range of on-trade, off-trade and promotional merchandise has been developed to support and drive brand visibility. The look is bold and eye-catching. Nederburg's current winemaster, Razvan Macic, is a man truly passionate about Nederburg. He has harvested a multitude of accolades, and just as the winemasters of the past, his wines are technically accomplished and an absolute pleasure to drink. Nederburg is a pioneer of the wine industry in South Africa. Its heritage and craftsmanship are unmatched, and on the global stage, Nederburg is recognized as the leading South African wine. Nederburg, mastering wine.